Exercise won't help with arthritis if your body is low in energy or your nervous system is dysregulated. There's so many of us who are experiencing arthritis and arthritis-like symptoms. Common areas are particularly around the spine, around the hips, around the hands, the shoulders, and it's common that it's prescribed exercise to help with them. The challenge is often arthritis is an accumulative condition. Inflammation accumulates in the bones, in the joints over time, and it's an accumulation of waste products, really, when the body's not able to move fully, when stress has accumulated in the system, and then the hormones start to change, which causes calcifications around the joints from a more acidic environment. All of these things are happening. There's a lot going on in the body for arthritis to accumulate. So just trying to address it with exercise doesn't always work. You can often just drain yourself more, put more inflammation in the system, cause yourself more pain. And this gets a lot of people stuck. So we'd like to address it in this video today.
In a way, often for many people, this is like crucifixion if they get a diagnosis for arthritis, like, okay, it's bad, I need to go for surgery, or I'm not able to move pain-free anymore, and I have to stop XYZ, whatever they laughed until this point. First thing, the first thought I want to just share is a diagnosis isn't telling you how your body is feeling or how it should feel. I've worked with many people, they were diagnosed with arthritis stage 4 and they were able to move pain-free. So it's not just like the picture and the mechanical perspective is giving you an environment on how your body is able to move. The body is very, very resistant and will find ways to move also with this mechanical damages. And the next thought is just I want to bring forward. It's, as Benny mentioned, it's just accumulation of many things. It's not like this that one day we are waking up and then we have arthritis. It's just a thing which was building up for many years or maybe for decades.
And so when we're looking at solutions for how we can start to reestablish pain-free movement, particularly with the condition of arthritis, we'll tend to address 3 key things. We'll address the connection with the body, and we'll talk all about this, and we'll go through a practice so that you can start to get a feeling for how we approach that. And it's important that we connect with the body. We establish a sense of safety as we connect with the body. And then it's important that we also breathe, not just breathing the way that you're habitually breathing. Often your breathing might be restricted. We need to start to improve the way that we breathe. And so then we would start to look at mobilizing the body, establishing gradual movement. So notice we're not just going straight into exercise or looking at a symptom and saying, okay, you need to stretch this and strengthen that. There's a process to reconnect with the body so that you can start to sustainably move and work with your body. And just for so many of us, because it's so overwhelming, we don't have a lot of positive incentive to even connect. So it's easy to put it off. And so then these conditions accumulate. We want to really address the core of what's happening. And so movement is important, but connection and breathing is going to fuel that movement that you do, and do it in a safe way so that it's not going to continue to harm your body and reaffirm why you can't do things.
Just to the diagnosis, often the problem with 2 specific diagnoses is just focusing on one specific point and not seeing the body as a whole system working together. And this is where we are there. We are not saying that diagnosis is bad and focusing on one area is bad. There is just a point and time where you need to see the whole body as one system working together. Otherwise, you will not be able to balance things out.
Well, let's talk about the steps a little bit further, and then we'll go into some practice around this. So when we connect with the body, we're connecting with really 3 things that we'll notice that all impact the nervous system. And so if the nervous system's dysregulated, it's like a drain on your energy all the time. It's very difficult to have energy so that your body can then heal. If we don't connect with the body, like all of these nervous system dysregulation symptoms are signs of disconnection, signs of disintegration, signs of when I have this sensation, it overwhelms my system. When I have this emotion, it overwhelms my system. When I have this thought, it overwhelms my system. And so you're going to keep having thoughts, you're going to keep having sensations, you're going to keep having emotions. We need to address why they're dysregulating you. And we do that through connecting with them. It seems counterintuitive because we're essentially facing the fear of feeling the things that we don't want to feel. But when we build the capacity for that, then it slowly becomes more and more safe to be able to experience these things. And then your system doesn't go into this hyper alert reactive mode of, oh goodness, I'm going to hurt myself. My body's broken. I'm never going to get better. And it's just going to suck forever.
In a way, as Benny mentioned, if we're looking at those reactions of the body is giving us more energy to escape. And the problem is that we are not using this energy in a mindful way. So we are constantly giving the body the impulse to giving more energy, more energy, more energy. And when we start to connect, we can safely telling the body, okay, now it's over. We are not needing anymore. And then the body starts to regulate down.
So we'll continue to use this skill. It is a skill, I suppose, that we practice to then apply as we work with the breathing and then apply as we work with movement. So then you're not continually in reaction to your body. So then breathing, this is important. So there's a saying that I often say to people when they're like, well, why do I need to focus on breathing? I can already breathe. I'm like, yeah, you can. And just like you can drive a car with a flat tire, it works. And if you were driving a car with a flat tire for a long time and you forgot what it felt like to have inflated tires, and then you start to essentially accept, not in a way that's supportive, but almost like in a way that is like self-defeating of, well, this is my car and this is how it should drive. It's the same with the breath. We get acclimatized to the breathing that we have and we take for granted because it's such a simple thing that we do all the time. And yet it's one of the most powerful things that we can do. So taking it through a conscious process and learning ways on how to utilize our breathing to start to change our physiological environment. The third part is movement and mobilizing the body, where we're first establishing what is your safe space of movement. Often we might have associated exercise habits, particularly people that have arthritis, particularly the ones that I've worked with, often had a very physical life prior to that. Were athletes and high performers and all sorts of different things that they've really put a lot of pressure and impetus on the body over time. And so this can be inherently challenging because we sort of have an ego construct then over, well, but I know how to exercise and I know how to challenge my body, but then now it's not working anymore. And so we need to develop a new map on gently stimulating the movement of the body to support healing rather than breakdown. And if there is the need to break down things like scar tissue in the fascia system and calcification around the joints, we need to learn how to do that in such a way that we're not going to keep re-inflaming ourselves.
It's just in a way, this is often the hard part, relearning to train the body.
Yeah. If you're willing to do these things, you can heal. I say this with such confidence and sincerity. Miracles are real. I've seen so many that I just cannot question it anymore. And it doesn't require hope, but it does require your openness and willingness and readiness to change. It's a process of being willing to meet the body day after day, meet that experience. And then there can be some really big shifts that can happen. So let's go into some practice. So we'll start off. I'm going to explore this in a way that you can apply it to any movement that you choose. And what I would recommend is that you apply this to wherever you're experiencing some challenges with your body to help you start to reconnect and reestablish safety and find a starting point on where you can start to rebuild your movement capacity and the healing of your body, particularly around the joints. So just starting with connecting with the body. Now, we'll just get a feeling for the body. We'll just lightly massage the body. We'll pat the body. There's lots of different systematic ways that you can do this, but just continue this for a little bit of time, just with the intent to connect. You may notice areas of tension. You may notice areas of space. You may notice things that you love and things that you don't like. Keep connecting. This is an opportunity also start to really practice this moment of gratitude for having a body. It's supported you up until this point as best as it could. That's an incredible thing, and often we take it for granted, and it reflects that back. So this is an opportunity to reestablish that relationship with your body and really thank it for all the support that it has given you, rather than focusing in on, okay, we're fixing arthritis now. We're not going to set this up as a problem to be fixed. We're setting this up as my body is reflecting back to me something, and I would like to give it support with what it needs. So we're patting the body. We're just getting a sense for feeling the body through touch. And then as we do that, we'll just start to become aware of our breathing. And we're just going to deepen the breathing just a little bit more than what you normally would. Without any force, just breathing in that little bit deeper and breathing out that little bit longer. This is going to feel different to perhaps how you normally breathe. You may feel a bit lightheaded at the start, in which case then you can just return your breathing back to normal. Because we're reintroducing more life force. Your body's learning how to process it. It's learning how to balance out levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide. As you bring in more life force, your body's already going to be going through a process of change and adaptation to that. So we're gently touching the body. It can be light massage, touch, patting, all very helpful. What's important is that we practice this over time, keep stimulating the body to support the healing process. And now we'll establish some gentle movement, just finding any areas of your body to start to just open and close, just gently in your pain-free range of movement. If you're standing there or sitting there, just feeling your feet on the ground, your toes opening and gently gripping into the ground. Your feet can start to move, pressing at different pressures on different sides. If you're seated, this will be easier, and to start to increase the challenge and start to move that challenge into ways that you would use your body in life, you can move into a standing position. So you're feeling your feet. In the beginning, your feet might cramp. You might not be used to using them in this way. There's no need to push them in any particular direction. Just see where your edges are and just hang back a little bit. And just gentle movement, just explore the possibility of how your joints can move, going to your ankles, to your knees, to your hips, to your spine, to your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your hands, your head, your neck, and your face, and your jaw, and your eyes. Of course, we don't need to do them all at once. You can just explore piece by piece, day by day, getting to know all of the joints in your body and seeing how they work together. If your knees are problematic, see how they relate with your feet, how they relate with your hips. I often say with the knees are the messenger joint. And you know what they say about the messenger? Don't shoot the messenger. And so we can then look up to the hips, look down to the feet. Hey, how can I support you, knees? By giving some more movement. And what we find is that as then more and more parts of the body start to absorb your awareness, so you have more of a feeling of moving those different areas, your consciousness starts to expand in the ways that you relate with those parts of your body. And really what we're doing when we're expanding the consciousness of working with the body is looking at the body through more loving eyes. This is a healing process in and of itself. because often we've not learned to look upon ourselves with love. And you may just start there for a day, a week, a month, until you start to get a sense, okay, I want to be here. I want to connect with this. And then we can work more and more with our breathing, start to bring in more life force. The energy levels start to pick up more and more over time. And then we continue to establish safe, stable, pain-free movement without attachment on pushing the body too far or stretching it or overburdening it. A part of you needs to wake up to really value this vessel that is carrying you and taking you from one day into the next, supporting you through the experiences in your life. And if I can impart one thing through this practice, is at the core of it, this is really developing an appreciation for what you have and expanding upon that, and then channeling that into the things that really light you up in life. That's why we're doing this.
Just keep going, and especially in the beginning, when you're having a background with sport and being physical, it's likely that your awareness will just go there where you're not able to move pain-free, and that's okay. We are just rebuilding our awareness and then just go from there. And yeah, you just have to put in the effort, just as Benny mentioned, commit yourself to support your body, because your body is not able to come back by itself. It needs your help.
Well, thanks for being with us. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about all of these sorts of practices, we've got heaps of resources on our YouTube channel here and other courses that you can dive into in different areas. So thanks for being with us, and looking forward to working with you further.